This month on the cruise missions, we got the meta ship Junyou this time around. So it's time to talk about this ship. So let's go all the way over here to the Meta Lab stuff. Go over down here, and you guys can tell by the skills and whatnot what they are. I should be working on these actually. Let me go do that right now. But let's go ahead and talk about these ships. So, where's my full screen stuff here? All right, so let's talk about Junyou stats. So right off the bat, I'm gonna tell you guys right now, this one is a bit better compared to Hio meta that we got in the prior one. But you're gonna need both, and I'll get into the reasons as to why you need both. But let's talk about the stats and whatnot. So she is a light aircraft carrier, so don't expect too much about her damage output. Just know that she's going to be fast on the reload because she is a light aircraft carrier. So 6,562 health at level 120, 326 aviation, 256 anti-air, 193 reload, 80 on the evasion, medium armor as usual, 26 speed, 113 hits, 80 luck, 76 anti-sub thingies, and 13 oil. So stats, nothing crazy. The one we're taking away from here is going to be the reload. Reload is pretty high for light aircraft carrier, but the aviation is very low, so that's the trade-off there. In terms of planes, 100 efficiency on the fighters, 110 on dive bombers, and 120% on the torpedo bombers. As for planes, I believe it's 224. Going by the Chinese wiki right here, we see the plane amount. It is 224. So, a lot of torpedo bombers, definitely not a bad plane. That means a lot more parallel stuff for PvE stuff. 4 torpedo bombers is a pretty solid amount. Right, let's get into skills. So skills, every 20 seconds launches a barrage. So if this place is not lying to me, or this website isn't lying to me, the barrage looks like this. You see this little blue stuff that flies off to the corner or whatever? That's basically what the barrage is. So it's not a crazy barrage. It's basically like just free damage. It's nothing like spectacular. So just take the free damage and whatnot. Falcon's talons at the start of battle. If Hio's afloat in your fleet, increase aviation and accuracy by 10%. So just like Hio meta right here, you're gonna need both in the fleet. So awkward if you guys didn't. What if you guys started at the time where Hio meta was available, but you didn't get her, and now we have Junyou meta? Then yeah, there's that. There's also a thing that I maxed out as well too. You gotta take them to OS to get skills leveled up. Yeah, it's gonna suck if you don't have the prior one. But just like any other meta ships, they're okay standalones for early game, like very very early game. Otherwise, I won't use these guys at all. Going to like mid and late game transitions, but for early game stuff, it is solid. Reforged bonds. When the battle starts, if this ship has a Sakura Empire aircraft equipped, increases this ship's aviation by 12%. If not equipping any, instead increases ship's anti-air invasion by 12%. Not the second part. The second part is we don't want that here. But the 12% aviation is solid. Combined with Hio, if you have her, it is 10% plus 12%, 22% aviation buff is very solid, guys. Very, very solid. And then lastly, Ashen Might, when fighting a humanoid siren fleet or boss fleet, increases the ship's damage by 6%. So you can theoretically get up to 28% if you have all these things going for you. But first of all, I wouldn't use her in a bossing fleet for many, many reasons, unless you have no other options available. And second of all, you're going to have to use Hio meta as well too. Now maxing them out and whatnot shouldn't take long, as long as you finish or get close to finish. I think it's like halfway done with your cruise pass or whatever. You should be able to have them fully max limit break. But get the skills maxed out is going to take a different entirely different pace, because OS isn't accessible to a lot of early game players, so you may struggle a bit trying to get these skills leveled up. But then again, just like every other meta ships in the game that you guys get from the cruise missions, they're good early game, they're terrible to mid to late game, because there are better options out there by far. So this ship here, if you're new, and I really do mean if you're new, like 1 or 2 months old players, this ship isn't terrible. Otherwise, there's better options out there later on to the game. And if you want to get the max benefits out of this ship, you're gonna need Hio as well too. Not basic Hio, because first of all, basic Hio is a common tier, which is blue and has terrible stats. And second of all, you're gonna have to be able, or you have to been playing for like what 4 months now to have the prior heal meta maxed out and whatnot, or like 4 or 3 months or something. So you're gonna need both these ships to get the max benefits out of both these ships, because both of them benefits from each other with a 10% accuracy and a 10% aviation buff. So you're gonna need both. Otherwise, again, these are just like collector ships for most part. For most of us, at least, they're collector ships. Otherwise, new players, if you guys want to use them, go for it. But there are better options out there. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Have fun using her if you guys are using her. Otherwise, just keep her in your dock space and enjoy the -1 dock space.